Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I am at the shop again at my dyno with the RSX strapped down, and what I was hoping to create was another Crackle and Tune video for you. I've been getting a lot of questions. The video has been doing great. It gets a lot of views, lots of questions. People are very interested in it. So I was hoping to create a more in-depth version of it for you. Try to get more detailed. I know a lot of people have asked specific questions, so I will try to address those questions. I'll go through a bit more about how to do it and provide a bit more samples of what the different settings do. I plan on going through the whole ignition timing process. I'm also going to go through all the fuel settings to help you with that, because that's a big part of it and it will make a big difference on how it performs and how the crackle happens. So before I get started though, I should, I guess, put out there a disclaimer. And because I get asked a lot if this is good for your car or if it will hurt it or if it's going to damage it, all I can say is this mod is purely for fun. If you are concerned about hurting your car, I don't recommend doing it. But that being said, I've been doing this for years. I've done it to a lot of cars. A lot of very happy clients have been running it for a long time with no ill effects to their vehicles. As long as it's done correctly, you should have no issues. That being said, if you do it incorrectly, you could definitely damage something. So if you are unsure about what you're doing, please don't do it. I do offer a service. If you want me to help out with this, you can either come here to the shop and I can do it for you, or I can do it remotely. I can basically log in over the internet and help you out, set it all up, or if you like, you can even email me the file and I will help you out. So I have lots of services to get this done if you want to get it done, and I can help you with that. So all that being said, that this is purely for fun. In no way it benefits the car. It's not good for it. It may shorten the life of your engine, especially if done incorrectly. So hopefully you enjoy this video, and by all means, as always, if you have questions, please comment, and I'm always happy to answer questions. So let's get started. Thanks. Okay everyone, so let's get started. Basically, I should give you some background information. This is my 2006 RSX Type S. It has a 2006 K24 A2 that I swapped in out of a 2006 Acura TSX. It has a few basic bolt-ons. It has an RBC intake manifold with a custom 3-inch intake, and it's running the Skunk 2 Mega Power header and a custom 2.5-inch cat back exhaust. There is no cat on this vehicle. That's how I got it. I don't know who made the exhaust. It's not very good, but it does the job. And anyways, so hopefully that answers the questions about the car. As for ECU tuning, right now this car runs on K-Tuner because it's a 06 car. The best option for 0506 RSX is K-Tuner. It's a plug and play application. So for today, the way it's going to work is I have the K-Tuner installed. It's set up for real-time programming, so I will make the changes, try to show you as best I can how and what to change, and edit in clips of these changes sound. So let's get started. So we're going to go through all the ignition timing settings first. And the big secret is what you have to do is during Decel, you have to retard the ignition timing so that the ignition events don't happen at the normal time, they happen later on, and that's how you get the crackle sound. So in order to do this, we have to adjust the Decel portion of the map. And the way this works is these two first columns are Decel. And you'll see, as I rev it up, the engine, you can follow the trace of what the engine RPMs are and the load are. So when you rev it, this trace area goes up in RPM and up in load. And then on Decel it comes down in load and then down in RPM. So what we want to adjust is this range. And what a good rule of thumb is, don't adjust anything below 2000. Sometimes I set it at 2250, but for the sake of this video, let's do 2000. So I will select the 2000 range. Hopefully focus works, but I've selected the first two columns, 2000 RPM and up. Now I'm going to set those to -5. One caveat to K-Tuner is you will have to adjust the multiple maps for VTC. So if you notice, right now I'm on the 0 map and I've just made the adjustment and it's got -5, but if I go up, -15 map is not adjusted yet. So I'm going to make that adjustment as well. Set this section of the map to -5. Hit OK. And now that portion of the map is -5 as well. You can see if I go back to 0, it's at -5, 15, -5, 30 is still at the normal values. In this case, VTC and Decel is all at 0, so I'm going to leave it like this. Basically, when the engine's decelling, it's going to be looking at the 0 map, so we can just make the adjustments to the 0 ignition timing map. So when I decel now, even though as you'll see, even though I am revving it and letting it decel in the -5 value, it is not making the popping sounds, and that's because there's no fuel right now in decel. And you can see right up here, ignition timing, it is hitting the -5 value. It is hitting the -5 values. So in order to get the crackle and pops, the crackle tune, you will need also the fuel aspect of the tuning. There's two ways about going about doing this. One is you do it manually with your foot, and you basically, during decel when you're driving, you ride the gas pedal a little bit. And that will keep the injectors from turning off, and then you'll get a bit of crackle and pop. So I'm going to do that for starters, and I'll show you what that sounds like, and we'll go through different angles. We'll try -5, -10, and -15 and show you what that sounds like. And then we'll go through how to adjust the fuel side of things and show you what the difference is with that. So I'll show you in the car, and then you'll hear it outside of the car. But basically what happens is, as I'm driving and I let off the gas pedal, and I'll try to show this, I am also getting back on the gas pedal a little bit, and that's what turns the injectors on. So you'll be able to see right here, and I'll try to show it as best I can, that as I'm decelling, I'm giving it a little bit of gas pedal to basically keep the injectors open, turning them back on, and that's what's getting the pops. So let's see if I can show that well in this video. Okay, so that was -5. What I'm going to do now is show you a few clips with first with -5, and then with -10 and -15 and maybe -20. We'll see how it goes. so what I was trying to show there is how you can set it up with only adjusting ignition timing and then you modulating the throttle so that the pops happen when you want. This is kind of a good option because it doesn't happen all the time. It will always kind of happen when you shift, but it will only happen when you want it, when you decelerate. Now, the second aspect of tuning this is we adjust what's called the fuel cut delay and how long the delay is before the injectors shut off during decel. When we adjust this feature, it means it will be on all the time. And what the big downside of this is you will waste a lot of fuel because normally when you're decelling, the injectors get shut off and you get that fuel savings. But if you adjust the fuel cut delay, then during decel always it'll be wasting fuel. So just keep that in mind. So now what I'll do is I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so in order to adjust the fuel cut delay, we have to go to the main parameters and find fuel cut settings. The way it works is there is fuel cut delay, and these values are in milliseconds. So this is thousandths of a second. Right now they're set at 40 thousandths of a second. So what I would normally do when I make adjustments to this is I would usually make it 1,000 milliseconds, which is 1,000, or maybe even 2,000 milliseconds, which is 2,000. Sometimes I do 1,500, which is a second and a half. Also, if you'll notice, these adjustments you can set for the different gears. You can set for first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And what I normally do is only make these adjustments to first, second, third, and fourth, and leave fifth and obviously sixth standard, so that if you're cruising, you're not always doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these adjustments, and we will use a value of 2,000 milliseconds and show you what that's like. The big difference is you won't have to modulate the throttle. Basically, you'll be able to let off and just let it decel, and it will make the pop and crackle all on its own, and it'll be much more consistent. So let's show you that. So basically, you just change the value, 2,000, 2,000, so gears 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all 2,000 now. I do have to upload this map because this isn't real-time programming portion, so I will upload the map and then we'll have that setting saved. Okay, so the map has been reflashed with the new fuel cut delay values, and it's up and running, and I'll show you what this is like now. We're going to start back at -5. So I will just make the same adjustments as I did before, set all the values to -5, and I will run it through and show you what it's like. So if you notice there, now when I'm letting off and letting the engine decel, the TPS value is going to 0 and staying at 0, but the duty cycle value is staying above 0, which means the injectors aren't shutting off. So I'm going to do the same thing now. I'm going to give you an example of -5, -10, -15, and -20 from outside the car, and you'll see how more consistent the crackle is. Okay, so there we have it. There is my attempt to try to get a more detailed video of how to crackle and tune and with both ignition and fuel settings. So what I get asked a lot about is what the different values do and how they sound, and if one's more aggressive than the other. And my best answer to that is the values closer to like -5 are more consistent, and then the values higher up, so -15, -20, are more erratic, but they also have some bigger, louder pops. And that's kind of a personal preference of what you like. So hopefully you found this video useful and interesting, and if you want to try it, by all means, but please do realize that you can do serious damage to your engine if done improperly. So if you're not confident, please email me, reach out. I'm always happy to help, or get one of your local tuners to help you out with it. So all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, comment, and as always, thanks for watching. Bye now.